Can you see that? That is my face peeling. We went to Florida, and I can prove it. I really was hoping that my makeup would make it look better, but it's not. I think it's making it look worse. Speaking of going to Florida, welcome to episode 4, as we are going to talk about this because airports bring so much to me. So let me start with, this was the first time that my boys were going to be flying. My oldest had flown before, but he didn't remember it, so that doesn't count. We were going to fly to Dallas to Tampa, and then once we got to Tampa, we were going to drive to Anna Marie Island. Highly recommend Anna Marie Island. Beautiful water, beautiful beaches, amazing. But we had to go through quite a bit of fucking hell to get there. So I have a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old. The reason why I'm breathing deep is because it was absolutely hell the very first day. Now remember, my boys have never flown before, and we gave them this song and dance that it was going to be like, hey, we're going to go to the airport, we're going to get through security, then we're going to get on the plane, we'll change planes in Dallas. We're trying to walk them through any kind of questions they may have of what it could be like traveling on an airplane. That is not what the fuck happened. I don't even know how airlines are allowed to do the shit that happened to us. So we flew with American, first of all. And, everybody has their opinions about different airlines. I always thought Delta stood for don't ever leave the airport. That's what I was told. Southwest, though, I don't remember having a lot of problems when I was a kid flying with Southwest. I flew a lot. My parents were divorced when I was 9. And so there was a lot of flying back and forth to see my dad or to go see my grandparents or, different things. I guess they still do it. We're the unattended minors. My sister and I used to fly by ourselves without an adult. We just have a stewardess. I don't even know if they still do that. I don't even know how in the hell you'd do that now. Anyway, I don't remember Southwest being that bad. I don't remember ever flying United. Maybe I did. I don't know. Anyway, it was American Airlines, so think what you want there. We get to the airport. First off, we have to wake up at 2 a.m. 2 a.m. with 2 children, which we thought it was going to turn out good because we were going to end up in having a big chunk of our day in Florida for flying that early. It was going to kind of add more time to us hanging out in Florida, right? Okay. You probably know where this is going. We wake up at 2 a.m. We get to the airport. Our flight leaves at 5 a.m. And we get there at 3, get through security, no problem, get to our gate. Everything's fine. We saw that there was some storms in Dallas, but we're maybe we'll land there while it's just rain, because you can fly in the rain. We thought we'll just land in the rain. Maybe we'll have some delays in Dallas, whatever. We get on the plane and there is a maintenance issue, but it's no big deal. The maintenance guys are going to be here pretty quick. Once they get here, it's a pretty quick fix and we'll be on our way. Okay, that was me doing the captain. I don't know where the fuck the maintenance guys were. They had to wake him up out of bed. Are they not on call in an airport like Oklahoma? He finally gets there. He, she, whoever you are, maintenance person. And I have no idea the time that it took to fix it or whatever, because the next announcement was that we were going to may have some delays, but we were going to go ahead and get in line to take off. So the whole reason they pretty much shut us up in the plane, in my husband and I's opinion, is so we couldn't get off the plane and reschedule. They couldn't, they could keep our money, if you will, if we stayed on the plane and they kept us there. But we're thinking whatever, even if it's an hour delay, we had a little bit of a layover there in Dallas. We still got time. We can do this. So we're sitting on the tarmac. Meanwhile, I guess it's the tarmac. That's what I've always heard it called. We're sitting on the runway. We're in line to take off. In the meantime, I have 2 boys who are wondering what in the hell's going on. Why are we not taking off? We acted like we were going to take off and now we're not taking off. And another announcement comes up. And it feels like every announcement's going to be like, hey, here in the next 15 minutes, we're going to take off. Hey, here in the next 5 minutes, we're going to take off. No, they were jumping us at 30-minute to an hour wait on a fucking runway. And I've got 2 kids with me. Okay. And I began to look around at that point and notice that we were the only ones with kids, because who's crazy enough to book a flight that early with 2 children? We are. But my boys were not bad. I have to say that. They were absolutely amazing with the day that we were handed. Okay. Because this was just the beginning. They take us back to the airport because at this point we have sat at the limit that DOT will allow a plane to set on a runway full of people. That's like 3.5 hours or something. We sat on a fucking plane not going anywhere with just these updates of gonna be a little bit longer, gonna be a little longer, and we're all just looking around at each other do we protest? Do we charge the door and get off this damn thing? But they had us, right? They had us locked in. We couldn't go change our flight. We couldn't go get our money back. We couldn't change until tomorrow. They had us, okay? We get back to the airport and they're like, but don't go far because we're going to be leaving as soon as we can. We're going to be leaving. We all get off this damn plane, all 200 of us, okay? Get off this damn plane. Trying to decide what we're going to do. We're trying to figure out, our flight's canceled, our flight's delayed. Do we try to get the boys food? Because now we for sure have missed our flight in Dallas. We've sat in Oklahoma City 3 hours. So the hubs is on the phone trying to figure out what we're going to do about that. In the meantime, I'm trying to figure out, do we feed the boys? Yeah, we probably should. How are we going to do this without leaving our gate? Like, whatever. I don't even remember if we end up getting food before we leave. I don't think we do. But like, we sat on the runway so long, they started serving us drinks and pretzels. Or not pretzels, it was those damn cookies, which I fucking love them things. We get to Dallas. Was it Dallas? It was such a fucked up day. I'm trying to give you this in chronological order, but it's so screwed up. So then we actually get to Dallas and we're headed to our gate. And they say there's going to be some delays because of the storms. Now, mind you, we don't know the wrath of storms that have just went through Dallas. We have no idea. We're just walking around super pissed that our planes got canceled delayed because we were trying to get to where we were going. In the meantime, people are telling us how bad these storms are. 20 trees got blown down. A semi got blown down in a highway. There's like straight winds that actually pulled a plane away from its, whatever the hell that thing's called. Like, you get on the airplane. My words are not with me right now. It's probably because of my sunburn. We're in Dallas and our flight was supposed to leave at 1 or 2 o'clock from what I remember. We went ahead and started trying to go get food and eat there in Dallas. I do remember this because they said, you guys have about an hour and a half before your flight takes off. Go ahead and go get some food, Literally get our food. And they say, if you're a part of flight 1166, we're going to be taking off as soon as we can. Get back to your gate. We're all shoving food down our throats. A guy that works for the airlines behind us is like, take it easy. Nothing like this happens in a flash. They're not going to leave you. Take your time. But we're still so hurried because we want to be on this plane. We want to be going and doing and be done with this whole damn thing. Consolidating our food. Meanwhile, my youngest is like, what the hell's going on? I thought we were eating. My oldest is like, oh my God, are we hurrying? What are we doing? Are we going to miss our flight? And it's like, no, everything's fine. We just have to get going. We get down there. We're not leaving yet. More delays. And a gate change. So we change gates. We go down to that gate. We sit and wait. But the board says that it's going somewhere else. So then they come on and tell us, hey, sorry, yeah. So the Phoenix flight's going to leave first and then the Sarasota flight. Because now we're not flying into Tampa anymore. My husband's changed it to the Bradenton-Sarasota airport because that's going to make more sense for what we're trying to do. They say, oh my God, we're sorry. You guys are actually changing gates again. Actually, they don't even tell us. My husband's app with American Airlines tells him. So we race down to that gate and we get down there and it also says a different location on its board that it's about to start boarding for Cancun, I think. And we're like, is this really going to start boarding people to Cancun? And then they come on and they're like, hey, yeah, so we're going to do, no, there was another one. It wasn't Cancun. There was one in between there that we went down there too, and they moved us again. Then we go down, it was A35 to A16, which is quite a hike in the Dallas airport. Thank God we don't have to change concourses because that'd have been a whole nother fucking fiasco. But we're going all the way down there. Then we have to come all the way back from A16 to A35. We do finally get on a flight, but they're telling us we don't have a plane. We don't have a plane that's going to go there. So we're trying to find you a plane. All in all, we were supposed to land in Tampa at 3 o'clock Florida time. We landed in Bradenton, Sarasota, 10 o'clock Florida time. That's how much time we spent sitting on airplanes, sitting in airports, and my poor boys. I thought they will never fly with us again. This is going to be absolutely terrible. We get on that second flight finally in Dallas after my boys spent hours in the Dallas airport. How we did not kill each other, I have no idea. We get on that flight to go to Florida, and my youngest, who I really thought was probably having the worst time of his life, chimes up and was like, this is the best vacation ever. It was not the best vacation ever for everybody, but I'm so glad that he was in good spirits, which he did really good flying. My youngest son is autistic, and I was not sure what we were in for. So there was already some raised levels of so much nervousness because I think it was the feeling of just being trapped on an airplane or in an airport if he was to have just a total rejection to flying or the airplane, or if it was scary to him, or because he claims that he's afraid of heights, but he's not really. I think he just knows what that means and he wants to be that, because he'll try to say that, but he's not really afraid of heights. Because when the plane was taking off, he was elated. He loved it. Like, he was so happy. Of course, he had his headphones on. It's very, very noisy when a plane takes off. But I was actually really shocked that he did so well on an airplane. Because had he not, I don't know what we would have done for the whole damn trip. But the hours I spent in the airport, I don't know if you're this way. I'm this way every time that I go to a concert, sometimes a mall. I haven't been in a mall. I say that. I was in a mall pretty recent, but not for a very long period of time. Not like the amount of time I used to spend in malls. Anytime I'm in a large crowd like that, honestly, airports do it more than anything. Like, do you just find yourself sitting there thinking about everyone that's in the airport? Like, if you need some sort of check in perspective as to how big this whole fucking planet is, go to an airport. If you have been stuck in your small town and you start to feel tiny and you start to feel, like nothing's going to work out, or, is there anything out there for me? Just kind of, I've mentioned this on an episode before, just kind of sitting in that, what is this all about? Whatever stuff, go to an airport. Even if you, I don't think you're going to, I was going to say even if you sit in baggage claim, but I really don't feel like it's going to be the same effect. When you see all of the different backgrounds in an airport. At one point in time, we were sitting down and eating in the Dallas airport, and there was just people, just busy by, doing their thing. Some with dogs, children, all heights, all everything. I mean, just so many different backgrounds. It reminds you how big this freaking world is and how small you feel in your teeny tiny spot, But it also makes me think, I think it was a meme or something I saw one time. I do this in traffic too. That's what the meme was, is somebody was sitting in traffic. And you think about all of these people and they're the main character in their story. Like, all of these people are the main character in their lives, doing their thing. And I think of weird things like I wonder what kind of shampoo they use, or I try to guess where they probably buy their clothes. Or like even walking by some of the airport stores. Who the fuck's buying shit at like those tech stores in an airport? Who's shopping in an airport? I know you've got lots of time to kill, but I feel like most of us are on a budget because of a vacation. Like, is there people that are just like strolling through there just to shop? Because I've never met those people. Maybe they're at a different tax bracket than I am if you're just shopping in an airport. But I love people watching and really gaining a new perspective of thinking about just how many people there are in this world. And that if you've been rejected in the small part that you're in, there's a big ass fucking world out there. It's huge. It's huge. And it kind of meshes with something that I heard one time in like a sales consulting thing. And it was, if you knew that you were going to get, 10 no's before you got a yes, how fast would you go through those no's? How fast would you just be like, okay, got to get through these to get to the yes? It made me think of that when I was sitting in that airport. Like, how many times have I said no to things that I could do creatively or to make a living, but I was afraid to hear the no's because it feels so small where I live. It feels so tiny, and it feels like there's like 10 people that I need to like my idea before it will be good. And that's not true at all, especially with the internet now. But you feel like the internet's not even big enough because you don't know how to get out there. Do you ever feel that? I feel that way all the time. Love being in an airport because it does remind me that even if you're reaching for the stuff like OF pages or feet pics or doing a podcast or doing social media for people or whatever it is that you're thinking about doing that is your one thing that you're super good at, because we all have one of those. That's a different podcast. But that one thing that you're good at that you also love to do, it is true that you can make money doing it. It's a huge world. You can't tell me that with TikTok. Instagram's a little tricky, I'll give you that. But TikTok really is for the people that are raw and natural and trying to make it their own way. It's not as polished and as pretty as Instagram tries to come along. And it's not whatever the hell Facebook is these days. I don't even know what that is. Facebook looks like it just makes me feel like I'm watching a bus and the wheels are falling off while I'm watching it. Like, Facebook just feels like so bad. Think about all of these people. And I think about all of the different things that they probably like and what their neighborhoods look like and their shopping lists and what does the inside of their car smell like. Do you ever been in somebody's car? Like, that's how they smell. Like, you probably don't know how your own car smells, but everybody's car has a different smell, and it's like their thing. And I know a lot of people have really good smelling cars, but you can smell them through all of it. That's why Ubers are a lot for me, because I can smell that person. But I am just reminded I guess maybe it's culture shock in a good way. It's not culture shock like it's making me afraid to do anything. It's doing the opposite. It's giving me huge confidence that I can do anything, and that may not be for the people right around in this circle that I, check my mail and buy my groceries and send my kids off to school. But there's a huge ass fucking world out there. I'm telling you, go through an airport, you'll get some perspective. Airports are so much to me. I look at people's shoes. I think about where they bought their bags. I even go, like, sometimes my mind wanders into, like, what do their family Christmases look like? What do they do for their traditions? What are things that I probably do they think are fucking dumb or crazy, small? Does that make any sense? I love airports for that reason, because it checks me in reminding myself that it's huge out there and that you can do it. Just whatever it is you think you think you might be needing to do, or any of that, you can do it. We did finally make it to Florida. It ended up being one of my most favorite trips. I highly recommend Anna Marie Island. It's like the old school Florida. There's no high rises. There's some very tall homes, $1 homes. Not exaggerating when I say $1 because I was like, did that thing where you go on vacation and you're like, could we live here? And you start looking up shit, and then you realize that for 700 square foot little shack, it was like over $800,000. Not exaggerating. Like, it's a beautiful place. You can tell that it's definitely for the billionaires. But it's the old school Florida. It's the Florida that when you think about going on a vacation, that's what you want it to look like. It's not touristy. It's not commercialized. You're not going to see commercial restaurants there. You will if you go farther inland. You can get your McDonald's or, your Circle K or whatever. I don't even remember seeing a gas station now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, there wasn't a gas station. Anyway, we rented a golf cart and we were able to like tootle around the island and go, check out houses and see all the different shops. But it's definitely you're sleepier. I mean, we were there Tuesday right after Memorial Weekend. So like everybody was gone. So we got it during like a very quiet time, which I highly recommend doing that with anywhere you're going to go if you can do that. But there's no hotels, there's no motels, there's no sign up here for charter boats, sign up here for parasailing, sign up here for paddleboard, sign up here. Like, there's none of that bullshit. If it is, they're few and far between. Like, they keep it very sleepy, very quiet, and everybody is so fucking friendly. Like, you don't feel hurried, like, oh, we gotta stand in line over here and then we gotta stand in line over there. Like, no, it was so chill. It was so chill. And the beach was gorgeous, not full of people. You could see through the water. We even went pretty deep to where it was like up to my neck. You could see the water. You could see fish swimming right next to you while you were swimming. I mean, it was absolutely gorgeous. I don't know what rate we got because the hubs was already like on the plane ride home was booking for us to go next year right after Memorial Weekend. It's like 5 million times higher than what we paid. So I don't know if we got some like trying to fill up the rooms on the Airbnb special. I don't know what we got, but I highly recommend Anna Marie Island. The way home, in case you're wondering, was a lot more peaceful. It was not full of delays and all kinds of shit. Obviously, there wasn't any crazy storms in Dallas, so we were good. But I say that, even on our way home, when we were going from gate to gate, because it was literally like we landed in Dallas, we had to hurry up and get on our next flight to land into Oklahoma. And on our way, I mean, I'm serious. Like, we landed, got off the plane. I'm sure you've been in these situations where you just have to like haul ass. Maybe somebody has to pee. You can do that. But then you're stepping right back onto your next plane. That's how this went. And our flight even got there early. I don't even know how that was fucking happening. But as we're flying by one of the American airline gates, it's like packed full of people. And I'm like looking across like, oh God, I feel for you guys. I feel for you guys. And I heard the announcement come over that they had a missing flight attendant and that they could not board the plane until they filled that position and a flight attendant filled the crew and they could go. Can you imagine? Like, there's nothing wrong with anything about your flight leaving. There's no weather. There's no anything except you're waiting on a flight attendant. I don't know. It makes me question if American Airlines is like going down the shitter. Maybe they all are. I don't know. I've been out of the news. I don't watch the news on, what's going on with the airlines. But it definitely made me reconsider who we fly with, because that's why we picked the earliest flights, because those are the least messed with, when it comes to delays. But obviously storms, you can't, fix any of that. All in all, it was a really good vacation, but I will tell you, I am still trying to remind myself when I feel my brain crawl back into the small town or your piece of world, small-mindedness of how it all is, that it's not. And you'd feel like being on social media all the time would remind you of that, but I feel like that makes me feel even smaller if I see all of these great things happening on social media that are happening to other people. It actually doesn't make me have that feeling of, oh, that could happen to me. It makes me have that feeling of, oh my God, that'll never happen to me. It feels like that's the complete opposite. But somehow being in an airport gives me that air of confidence of like, holy shit. Like, we're all out here trying to do it. We're all out here trying to live. We're all out here like, my God, what nose am I worried about? There's so many people in this world that there could be like a big chunk that appreciates what I'm creative at. So I don't know why I'm so scared to just be out there. I will tell you, if you're trying to make it in any kind of creative stance or build your own business, the first people that are going to suck when you're trying to do this is your family and friends. Just be ready for that. Don't rely on them to be the ones to support you, because that's not your people, unfortunately. Your family and friends are not your people when it comes to trying to support you in a business. Will they? Yes, they will. But that's not who you're trying to grab, right? That's not income, is just having your friends and family be your clients. You're trying to get farther than that. So don't try to please your family and friends when you're doing anything, whether it be online or making business choices or whatever, because they're not doing it. They may give you some advice on how to do it, but they ain't putting themselves out there. You're the one who's willing to be out there looking like you're trying, looking like you're failing, looking like you're cringe, looking like you're whatever, to try to be the best. So I want to tell you, going to the airport was a breath of fresh air for me. If you have the chance, do something where there's a lot of people and disconnect for a second and look around and think, oh my God, this world is so much fucking bigger than where I'm at all the time. And this really is a possibility that if I just go for it, that it could be something. Now, there's going to be some work on the way. I get that. I'm not trying to sell you some blue sky here, but I am trying to give you the confidence to at least take that first step. So anyway, hopefully when I talk to you next, my forehead will be healed. And look at that. Just giant hunks of skin. God, it's gross. And so now I have like a pink forehead for a little while. Anyway, have a great rest of your day.